Side with a question mark. Good evening, family. We are in the building.
How y'all doing today? Good afternoon. I don't know. What is this mess right here we got over here? Oh, no, we don't want to do that.
You ain't in the right one?
No. I'm here. Okay. It was just some little thing covering the commentary.
Gotcha.
All right. Mommy, Sister Yogi G, you didn't respond to my request. I know we got to talk. I know I threw a little curve in there, but we still got to talk. And anybody else that can help assist how we want to figure out how we want to do the Citizens Council. But I had to laugh earlier because the more I say it, the more it sounds like a white supremacist group, but it's not. Because what we want to just be able to do is make sure the people are informed about what's going on in the world, in our world, whether it be locally or nationally or globally, instead of sitting here, being ostriches with our heads stuck in the sand figuratively. So, we want people got to know as we start towards this election season, who's running, what they're running for, what their agenda is. And we want to inform people, and we want people to be informed about, what they should be, so they'll know what to look for, what questions to ask, and all those things. So yeah, we'll have to get on a call. I know I threw a little curve in you with the voiceover, but that's all right. I thought it was funny. So the other day we started talking about the Council of Nicaea 325 AD. And Constantine, who became not only the emperor, but he was also the person who kind of really consolidated all of or as many holy books as he could get into one large document that is now run and owned and operated by one of the richest cities in the world, and that city is off limits, and that's Vatican City. So yes, the Roman Empire was dying as an empire, but a very bold move by Constantine was to, hey, we're going to have a meeting with these religious leaders, and these religious leaders are going to just faithfully give over their documentation. Well, needless to say, that part didn't take place like that. So he had done it in subsequent meetings by force. Now, the writer that Uncle Brother Mick has and a writer that I have write in two different styles. The writer that Uncle Mick has, he's going to write in more of a modern style, which the writer that I have, whose name is Dean Dudley, who published his first works in 1922. Yes. And meanwhile, Uncle Mick's version was published in 2024.
Facts.
So there's going to be quite a difference in how they say what they say. So even though they kind of really, they both tell the story about Constantine. One is going to be kind of flowery, which is the older writer. Meanwhile, Mr. Didier, his writing is going to be very much more direct and straightforward. He's gonna really tell you how Constantine was. Meanwhile, in the flowery language of the 20s, 1920s, they're gonna talk about um how he did certain things in a manner, but doesn't you don't want it to make it sound like he was a horrible person, which he was, and what he did, because he ruled Rome and the areas that they had governance over with an iron fist. So when we start talking about these newer Cecil Rhodes and DeMille and Hitler, this dude was worse than them. Okay, so let me throw this out there real quick as just a caveat to what we're talking about. So in the Cultural Revolution of China that took place in 1955, Mao Zedong killed over 66 million people in order to make sure that. So we want to be comparing, no, it doesn't compare to 100 million people. It doesn't compare to 100 million people, but it does show you the level of not give a damn that people have about life in order to be able to put forth what they feel that they are supposed to or what they feel that they should. Now, Constantine was also the first emperor who kind of sent out people to convert people.
Missionaries.
Right. And not by talking sweetly to you and saying, I really want you to read this holy book, because this is a holy book that we want you to just take, and I think it's going to make your life better. No, it was, you either take this book or die. And first person that we're going to kill is your grandmother, because we know the grandmother plays a very important role in many cultures and societies, or the grandfather, or the elders play a certain role, a very special role in societies. So what ended up happening is, you either take this new document or we're going to kill you. And if we don't kill you, we're gonna make you watch us kill somebody else in your family. So the little bit that I read about, Constantine, and how the author originally wrote about him, he says, I better not read that because some of y'all gonna get upset. I'll read that one later on.
Remember, I just did the introduction,
right,
on mine.
Yeah.
So you had I just read the introduction, which gave you the the frameworks of what we was dealing with.
Right. But I want you all to listen to what they say. And this was during the time of his writings, like the time of his being alive, and before 325, before the council that created and put together these books. What they say about him, and I want us to remember this. It is a pity that so splendid a man, both in form and courage, should have marred his record toward the end of his life by inhumane acts of cruelty against his rivals and even his nearest relations. It doesn't seem possible that he could deem his baptism, his own baptism, sufficient to wash out such stains and purify his soul. But he had heartless couriers around him who probably encouraged his pretensions to righteousness and pandered his vilest propensities. So though he became the Roman emperor, I had to take this hat off. That just made my head hot. He became the emperor of Rome. He ruled it by destroying people that opposed him. So therefore, when he put this document together that becomes the Bible, that he was very clear that what he was desiring to do was continuing the Holy Roman rule of the world, but he did it by using force, and he did it by subjugating people to this holy book. Now, most people that have a spiritual awakening and our spiritual people will find what it is that they're searching for that will fit for them. So if this document was such that it's just going to make people feel better about themselves, they'll see the greatness in society, they'll see all of these wonderful things that are happening for them, they'll gravitate towards the ideology without having to go through either you take it or die. There has been no tradition in the world. Good evening, family. How y'all doing? The Dreamer. All right, we appreciate y'all being here. There's been no religious ideology in the world that has not subjugated another people. That happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There were this particular religion. Instead of you just walking around with and spreading the gospel, as you say that took place in the New Testament. And even some of those persons, if you look at what happened with other writings in their life, like Peter was crucified upside down.
Facts.
But anybody during Constantine's time that spoke against him, and there were philosophers too, the Greek and Roman philosophers, they were considered to be heretics. All because they say, hey, look, we have something else different than what you coming in here with, and we want to continue to maintain and follow this ideology. And he was like, no, you either follow this or die. Most of them fled to other parts of the world. Then with some of them, their words were so powerful and their thoughts were so powerful, what he did was he sent people out to go find them and murder them. The same way he did during the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, in order to be able to gather the information to say, look, this is what we got, all of these books, and we're going to put all of these books and stories together that we're going to make one document, one book. And the Bible is the most purchased book in the world. And there was an author, his name, and a historian, his name was James Cone, Reverend James Cone, who put together a book called African American Study Bible. There's all of this history in it, and the Holy Roman Church, the Vatican, denounced it. I want y'all to let that sink in now. There was only one version, as far as they're concerned, that there could only be. Meanwhile, there are other versions of it out there. But the one written by a black man that has documentation about the African presence in the Bible, they remove it and denounce it. The Vatican. Now, there used to be a place on South Saginaw called Sunshine Bible Shop that you could get a copy of it. And I think I bought a copy of it over there. And then I had a copy that was given by a neighbor.
What book would that be?
That's the name of that book is the African American Study Bible. And the difference is it's still a King James version, but he also has African culture and history inside of it.
Mm.
But let's move on to this man. So I just wanted to set the tone for who we're dealing with Constantine, right?
Mhm.
So he was born in 274 AD. He was named Constantine, Cassius, Flavius, Valerius, Aurelius, Claudius.
Dang.
That's a whole lot of names.
So there's about 5 of them.
You got about 5 names. Okay. So after his father died in 306, he was proclaimed emperor by the troops, and he married a young woman named Fausta, who was the daughter of Maximilian.
Mm.
So now here's another description of him and his life, right? It's my intention, continues Eusebius, to pass over very many of the deeds of this thrice blessed prince, as for example, his conflicts and engagements in the field and his triumphs in the speaking right of those circumstances that only which refer to his religious character. Now, you're going to skip over his wickedness in order to say that just because he had this thing going on, we're going to ignore that. But we're just going to talk about how holy you are.
Ain't that something?
Soon after he came into power, he resolved to destroy his colleagues who adhered to the old idolatry. But he felt the need of some more powerful aid than his army, especially on account of the wicked and magical enchantments which were so diligently practiced by the tyrant. Now, they called him a tyrant. He still practiced this other stuff that he told everybody don't practice.
Right.
And then from there, he began to seek divine assistance in order to carry out this ideology that he wanted to carry out by continuing to make Rome, even though Rome was dying as a culture, a war culture at that. He wanted to make sure that he put something in place that would last forever. And he did that.
He sure did.
So here's the thing. I don't want people to think that I'm bashing your religion or your religious beliefs. But if you don't understand where they come from, and that's anything, right? If you don't understand where it comes from, so if you just, I'm just gonna grab this piece of fruit, but don't know where it come from or how it's grown or none of the other stuff or what it's supposed to do, and I'm just gonna eat it, that's kind of ignorant. That's where you just blindly going on, and now I'm just gonna choose this. It's like, no, I don't. Anybody on here, nobody can tell me they haven't gone to a grocery store, saw some grapes, and decided to taste one and see whether I want to buy it or not.
I played the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I played the fifth.
Okay. So if we've done that, that means you're testing to see whether they're worth you buying.
Right.
You just don't blindly go and grab something. Hey.
I get what you're going.
Right. You don't blindly go and pick something up off the shelf. Even if you can't taste a piece of meat, you kind of check it out, look at, touch it a little bit, see if it's got the firmness you want for it and all that other stuff before you buy it. So how is it that when we talk about religion, that we don't even what I investigated before I got into it. I don't care nothing about, I'm just going to jump into it. And no, sir. No, ma'am. I go to somebody's church, trust and believe. I'm not just bringing one Bible. I'm bringing cross references. So whatever you say, it's got to satisfy me. You got to taste the grapes first, baby.
You gotta- For sure. Good
Right?
evening to lovely Sherry Allen in the building. New one. Nikki So Tricky, Lawana Terry, thank you, Queens, for tapping in. No, you right on that.
So why is that the only thing that we figure we should not investigate where it comes from, who created it, and why we're following it? If I pick up a book and it doesn't fit my fancy, at least I'm gonna read the introduction, the first chapter, maybe. And if not, hey, thank you, baby, because people playing. Now you was the only one that sent in the money for the book club. Everybody else wanted the book club, they ain't sent nothing in. They play too much. If I read it and then something tickles my spirit to read it and hold and keep it and buy it, then guess what? I'm supposed to have that book. But I'm gonna investigate it first. And then I'm gonna go to the index to see what the index, where he cross-referenced, whether he or she cross-referenced their information from as well. So that, okay, so now I can get other sources to make sure that this is plausible.
No, I agree with you. I just don't, because I know you got some other parts of it. Just can't, and I just say this to my Christian family. Can you have an open mind on some of the stuff you're going to hear?
That's all.
Just have an open mind, because you're going to get to the part where they're going to come up, how they're going to come up as far as Jesus being connected to God.
Right.
All that's going to come into play right here. Because I forgot what they call it. What it's ECC.
Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastics. You're going to see that in there. You're going to get to see that, what are they called? Prager or Burger or something. It's
Yeah. You even got the where they get the
you see the different groups.
Right. And they all come from St. August.
Yeah, and when you see Arian, then when you get to Arianism, like I because I read it, I can then tell you the characters in the book.
Right.
Yeah, that's man, I was at the house and I messed around, left out, and I didn't want to be late too.
Well,
when I got here, I was
typically
already
gonna be about 15 minutes late. So
I wasn't thinking, but I was here. I was like, I didn't want to chance it.
Yeah, because I gotta go home, take the dogs out.
No, it ain't no big
rest around in the yard with the dogs, get dirty, change my clothes.
I ain't tripping. I was like with me, but that's how I remember some of the. And this, like I said, in the beginning of it.
Right.
See, when you get into that, and this is how you gonna start seeing how they formed the church. Well, they took paganism with it.
We can have Easter. What the entire hell do you really think that is?
Right.
We got bunny rabbits and Easter eggs and Easter egg hunts and this and that and other. You're gonna color your Easter. You're gonna wear those big ass Easter hats in there where can't nobody see what the hell's going on because somebody got a hat big as hell and I can't see shit. Right. But that's pagan. That's the spring rites.
Right.
That is about life.
Right.
Not death.
Right.
Not the crucifixion.
Right.
Because in reality, the crucifixion really comes from where the sun crosses the equator. We have perfect day and night. That's the reason why the cross is what it is. Look, it's perfect. Now, I don't know how them cats had the type of carpentry skills to create 3 perfectly crossing crosses that cross at 90 degrees all the way around. But you can see it in ancient Kemet. And we're just saying, stop going into stuff blind, no matter what. Why was it not? Like what the Concrete Jungle say? You was told in his youth, don't question the pastor. Right playing wrong man if it's me.
Right. Because we see, I think where a lot of stuff get left out, and you know what this comes from, let's be honest. They don't want to bring up the slavery part about it.
Because go ahead. Go.
I'm saying they don't want to bring that part out. And you got to understand, whose school is you going to?
Right.
Who giving you your certificate?
Right.
Whose system is you joining?
The whole thing.
So you gotta understand, just like right now, when you looking at it, even in when they let the slave be the pastor, who was watching him while he was
Well,
giving
he
the
was right,
sermon?
because you better not be talking about following the North Star and following the drinking gourd and singing the old Negro spirituals that's telling you how to escape, because you got the overseer watching them, and these are the only things you better be. There's a museum in either New York or Washington D.C. It's probably in New York that talks about that have different Bibles in the world.
Mhm.
And the slave Bible is completely different than the King James Version, and there's 1,000 pages less than the King James Version and this particular Bible.
Yeah, but that's like right now when they even say Easter coming up, and then you gonna catch hell. You will catch hell from people on this one. You gonna have Easter Sunday, you gonna have Good Friday, and just doing the math. The math don't be mathing, but a person to tell you, oh, this no, 24 hours. If you died on Friday, just say, let's just pick 5 o'clock in the afternoon, evening, 5 o'clock in the evening. Saturday at 5 o'clock, ain't that just 5 p.m.? Wouldn't that
That's
be
24
24 hours?
hours.
So you already seeing the games that they playing how they mixed in paganism
Paganism with
with
religious
Christian, yeah,
idolatry.
with the
Right.
idolatry, and when you already looking at it,
So, and it's interesting to see people go to sunrise service, SUN,
right?
and be there, whether it be I used to be, from what I remember, at a cemetery.
Mm.
That you standing there waiting for the sun to rise on sunrise service, which wasn't that Good Friday
What's that Good Friday?
or whatever?
Mhm.
I don't remember. And then when we had COVID hit, I saw many people talking about they standing on the porch waiting for the sun to rise. Huh? Because of course you couldn't be by other people
Right,
with COVID, because of COVID influx.
right.
But you're waiting for the sun, SUN, to rise. So, and this is, all religions have idolatry in it. All of them do. All of them come from a source of nature, first and foremost.
But who corrupted it?
Who
See,
corrupted? People corrupted for money reasons.
yeah, no,
Then
yeah,
they corrupted for spiritual reasons.
no, because it's been corrupted from how it was to
Oh,
what it is
definitely.
now.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
But it all started with this person here who said that we're going to do something different.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Okay, we're going to do something different. We know that Rome is dying, so we're going to do something to keep it alive forever. And this is exactly what he's done. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
is it true that King James was illiterate?
I don't think he
I
was
don't think
illiterate.
that he was illiterate, but I think that there were other people around him that did the scholarship, because King James was commissioned in order to be able to put his name on the book,
Right.
right? So I don't believe that he was illiterate. Hold on a second. We're gonna find out.
Who? Or was he illiterate?
Mm-hmm.
I would say he wasn't a holy man that they should have named the holy book after.
Well,
If you heard some of the things he was into,
yeah, and if we believe those,
yeah, and but then look how they used the book. They used over here, like what Rome used it to conquer, right?
yeah,
America used it also to enslave people.
everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, he was not illiterate. He was known for being highly educated
Yeah.
spoke multiple language,
Mhm.
and a prolific writer.
Mhm.
Okay. There was also some people have a question about his
Ethnicity.
ethnicity and his background,
Oh,
his
yeah.
familiar background.
Oh, got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But hey, now let's move up and come back because we still got to deal with Constantine, right? Because we got about 15 minutes.
Right.
Okay. We still have to deal with Constantine. Skip King James.
Right.
Henry VIII
Mm.
said to the Pope in Rome, I'm no longer following your ideologies. Created the Church of England so he could divorce one of his wives because his wife couldn't have a male heir.
Right.
Anne Boleyn, he ended up killing her. Because she wouldn't have a male child for him.
Mm.
Then from there, you get the Protestants.
Mm.
You get Martin Luther, and you get a whole nother set of texts based upon what Constantine did and how he gathered these books.
Mm.
Now, the issue is that there was a lot of information that was left out.
Mm.
Oh, he was very scholarly, sweetie. So yeah, he was considered to be a scholar. This is where other the Dead Sea Scrolls come up, and and we got the Krapha that's come out now. We got the book, the Book of Enoch. Get the Book of Enoch, the Ethiopian. You have to have that in your library because Enoch goes back in a dream, talks to Adam, and ask Adam, why the hell did you let everything fall apart? And this is what it could have been if you had done your job as the so-called patriarch of the earth. It's called the Book of Enoch, the Ethiopian. So if there's in that book, the Ethiopian, you hear Enoch mentioned, but his book is pulled. There's a book of Old Mary in the Old Testament that was pulled because it talks about Mary's grandmother who gave power to Mary's mother, which gave power to Mary. But she also mentions that she has a son. His name is James the Elder, who later becomes John the Baptizer. Notice that I'm saying their names with titles. James the Elder. John the Baptizer. Later, you have one called Yeshua the Christ, which is called Jesus the Christ. It was not Jesus Christ, it was Jesus the Christ. And originally it was spelled Krst. Book of Enoch the Ethiopian. Yes. Okay. So now we go forward in history, and I got that from a book called The History of the Modern World, which is talking about modern England. And those very same Protestants who protested what Henry VIII was doing were persecuted by him under religious persecution, And so guess what? They come here. And we call them, y'all folks call them the Pilgrims. They call them the Protestants. They call them the Lutherans and all that other stuff. And the Lutherans followed the 95 Edicts of Martin Luther, which Martin Luther was saying, hey, it's dumb for you to have a man to not have a wife because a man's going to have lower level lust and he's going to do some stuff. That was one of the edicts. So why should he not have a wife? Well, the Church of England said that he shouldn't have a wife because we got to make sure he's focused on God. Martin Luther was saying, how could he focus on God when he got these lower level animalistic lusts? And what do we see happening? Raping children, raping nuns, raping all of these people that they want to, now you want to make a $1 million fund to make sure that if anything happened to anybody, then you want to make sure that you pay them so they shut their mouth. Or we'll take your little Catholic. Come on.
But this the question: how did they get it? So I already know the answer, but you see how they was putting on their own dogma because these wasn't holy men who was using it. Augustus was trying to use it because he knew Rome could no longer rule with his military.
Man, Augustus was a black man.
I'm talking about Augustus Caesar.
Augustus Caesar.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He knew he couldn't.
Definitely.
Yeah, he knew
but
he
comes after Constantine.
Yeah, I meant to say
right.
Constantine.
Yeah.
No, he did get changed to Augustus. He was it Augustus? They changed it to Constantine. Go pull it up.
Yeah, that's because they called him the second coming of Constantine. But this is after Constantine died. You're right. You're on it. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So you got to look. Remember he had a vision.
Yeah.
And that's where he got the cross from.
Yeah.
When he had the vision on the cross and he was saying he was going to be ruling it through, he was not, because this was during the Byzantine Empire.
So that's a little bit later.
In
the 700s.
Right.
Right.
So he was, they knew they couldn't rule it no more just through their military. So they wanted to rule it through religion.
Yeah. Because it was easier to do it that way. And because it didn't require as many soldiers to go in and subjugate people to follow this ideology,
right? Because
we'd already sent a missionary in,
right?
So this whole idea that they've been doing this, well, we're gonna send missionaries over to help the people. No, you weren't.
Right.
That's new. Yeah. The missionaries were sent over there to find out, scout. They were there sent there to
scout. Basically, you're right about that.
Okay. They sent the scout over there. And the scout, no different than they did during the slave trade, the transatlantic European slave trade. Same thing they did with the slave trade in Islam. Same stuff. It's exactly the same thing. We're going to send people over here, and then we're going to take our Bible, and we're going to go talk to you, and we're going to tell you that, because if I don't have no argument with you if it's something that fits my ideology. But if it doesn't, then, and I tell you I don't want it, the next thing I know, I got a knife at my throat. So this is how the Vatican gets formed, through his conquest. Okay. What particularly confirmed him in this course was the recollection that his father, who had opposed the persecuting spirit of his colleagues and honored the one supreme God during his whole life, and found him to be the savior and protector of his empire. So he ruled by not just by religiosity, but he also ruled by the sword. So he doesn't get this religious information that he helps turn into a document that's the best-selling document in the whole world, without getting it from some other places And then, like I said before, what he did with them is, okay, well, we're going to have a meeting and I want to discuss that we move your religious head, wherever you are, we want to move it to Rome. They're like, no, why? Why should we move it to Rome? Oh, because, I just think there'd be a better place and I'm in power or whatever. So he started to kill people. They started to kill people. They started to kill. There's 2,500 religious leaders across the world. And because they didn't buy into what he wanted, they just offer and give their holy works and holy books. And some of them were oral traditions still. Okay, well, no problem. He had his guard dressed in the same guard as bishops or whatever, and they started to kill people off. And then he took the books. And then when he took the books and he had the last few, because now you watching all your colleagues, your religious and spiritual colleagues die, all because this man wanted this power. You sitting here going like, hey man, finally, hey, look, okay, well, we just gonna give the last 10 or 15 left. They're gonna just give it to you after you done took it anyway. I said, okay, no problem, I'll let you live. And then he killed them too. So that very first introduction was talking about all of the stuff that he did in order to create the Vatican. So he took all these documents. They're still locked in the basement of the Vatican, the richest city in the world, who was unilaterally untouched by war. You can't go over there and bomb it. You can't go steal nothing from it. You can't do anything to it. It's a holy city, according to them. You can't go into the libraries. You can't go in the underground archives and look at none of the works down there. You can't. This stuff's untouchable. Well, why? Why would you not allow scholars to want to go see? Oh, well, if they touch it, but yet you willing to go into Egypt and dig up stuff and touch scrolls, and you would go to other parts of any part of the world, especially digging up over there where we come from, in concrete jungle. You're absolutely right. And you can't even, it's okay to go dig up over there, but you can't go to Vatican City. Once again, the richest city in the world. And the Middle East, if we look at that in a map, the Middle East is the middle of the ocean. There's no such place as the Middle East. There's no such physical place as the Middle East. So to have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed child that was in the heat of Africa along the equator to become the savior and messiah of the world doesn't even make sense. But we believe it. The sad part about it is, and this is just my commentary, is you got black churches headed by black folk who won't even put a black man up there.
Don't rock the boat.
If y'all want to, Reverend, it's not Reverend anymore, but Ray Hagan started out as, and I said this once before, started out as one of those Christian ministers who thought he was going to go tell folks, some brothers who had been students of history and students of the word for real, and he was going to tell them about how they were out of order for not following Jesus, until they sat him down and say, hey, boy, shut up and sit down and listen to what we got to talk about.
Caesar Borgia.
Yeah. All over the world. I know an elder that lives in Detroit that goes to a church in Detroit that they're trying to build the largest church in the world over in Nigeria. Make that make sense.
Mm.
And they do pagan worship all the time, all over the place.
More converts.
Over and over and over and over and over again. So again, I'm not bashing somebody's beliefs. Let's go study and see where you get them from. Don't blind man. We go. Hey man, hey bro, come to church with us. No problem. Here I come. I got a briefcase full of books and I got a backpack full of books. Hey, what you talking about? I got my great grandfather's for original 1932, 33 Nave's study Bible, where you get a scripture and they got 18 different thousand questions for every scripture. I picked that book up the other day and it scared me because the page is stuck a little bit. I said, let me put it down. But we have to read the stories like, okay, I'm going to say this, then we're going to pop. If y'all want us to really believe anything, look at Book of Job. Now, I'm going to throw this at you, then we're going to pop off of here. I want y'all to marinate in this. You had two forces that say we're going to take everything away from you. And I replace it with 7 times whatever you lost. So the debate between between God and Satan or the devil was, you can do whatever you want to with him except you can't kill him. Took his wife, took his children, made him homeless, gave him leprosy. He's starving to death. And for a 28-day cycle, 30-day cycle, 28 days, a 28-day cycle, he survived it without changing his belief. Had the faith of a mustard seed. Where that come from? Somebody asked something about a Milwaukee.
Nah, I'm gonna check it after I get off there.
So they didn't even consider the fact that he loved his wife and loved his children and loved what he had before. They just made a bet. God won because he didn't change his belief. And then we gave him 7 wives, 7 times 7 children, 7 times 7 whatever hectares of land, 7 times all of this other stuff. But you had a bet. You made a bet. And I might have won the bet, but I lost what I had originally. I just want y'all to marinate in that. Okay, just marinate in that. On that note, I got another appointment at 6:30, family, or we would stay, I swear. But you got somebody, you got
yeah,
baby girl coming on.
Yeah, about to come on in a second.
Okay. But thank you for listening. Please, family, go do your research. We can't just blindly believe that the grape is good. You got to taste it. If it's bad, spit it out. You should be able to ask people that are supposed to be your religious guides in front of you questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, then why are you talking? Why are you listening to them? Why would you have a thinking mind, supposedly, if you can't ask any questions? And y'all make sure big brother Mick bring his book in so we can compare the two.
No, I got you. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have it. And
because he had it here the other day, and then he took it home reading. And I know him because he was up early in the morning while I was up early one morning. And I know he was up reading.
No, I was up. I just had left out because I had ran in and left out, and I didn't want to be late. No, fat bungs, but stay tuned. The show coming on in 10 minutes. We'll have you ready. And family, we'll see y'all. I see y'all in about 10 minutes, the most.
All right. But appreciate y'all, fam.
And me and Brother Elliott see y'all Sunday. Unless he want to come on, we get something to talk about. But
yeah, for sure. But oh, hey, look,
For sure.
All right, we'll make it do what it do.
Right.
All right,
Peace.
family. Peace.
Peace.